Hi, Vinny from Clubscraft, where we help sports coaches spend more time with their athletes. And it's been now a few days since the boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And I still remember when I heard about it, something like a year ago or even more, um, that they are going to have some kind of exhibition fight. And in the end, it was treated like a professional fight. And I was like, yeah, why? It just didn't make any sense. And then at the later stage, they canceled the fight, and then they renegotiated, and then they confirmed another date. And I was like, okay, yeah, it still doesn't make any sense. But then I saw some videos of Tyson doing some sparrings, and he looked quite good. And I was like, maybe there is a chance that this might not turn out to be circus show or something even worse. And I really fell victim to this social media presence or social media bubble that formed around Mike Tyson, because I started to think about maybe he can get a knockout in the first or second round, because he could maybe um, bring out the old animal that we know as Mike Tyson. And when they talked about the rounds being just 2 minutes long and there will be only 8 rounds, I was like, maybe there might be some chance that we see at least a few good rounds. But yeah, the bubble just burst once the actual fight started, because yeah, Tyson just looked bad. And the first round, maybe for the very first minute, it looked like he might still, yeah, get the lucky punch in and put Jake Paul on the canvas. But yeah, it's my hopes and everything just disappeared after that, and it turned really into the circus show that I was fearing. Because you, no matter how you slice your social media videos and how you present yourself, you cannot escape nature. And Mike Tyson he hasn't fought for 20 years almost, probably hasn't trained a lot. And you at the when you're in the 40s, 50s, 60s, so the older you are, the more muscle mass you lose, your bone density drops, and there are also changes in your brain where it also starts to atrophy. And one of the components in your brain, or one of the parts of your brain, is here at the back, known as the cerebellum, which has one of the primary tasks is to deal with motor functions, so your hand-eye coordination, your balance, and keeping your equilibrium. So all of these things are just diminishing in their usefulness. And unfortunately, it was apparent from I think probably the second round or the third round, where you can see Mike Tyson wobbling basically in the ring. And yeah, it's really didn't make a lot of sense. And later on, I started reading about the Athletics Commission's approval process, and it was just like finger to nose stuff, walking in a straight line. So the only thing that was different for him and Jake Paul was that he had to do an EEG and an EKG. And as far as there won't be anything abnormal, which probably won't be, he was cleared for the fight. And this, yeah, it really shouldn't have happened. And I don't really think that these fights do any good service to the sport. And I'm fearful of other younger or up and coming fighters trying to pick some big name and then have an exhibition fight to rake in a few millions, and in the process somebody might get hurt. Because you could see a knee brace on Mike Tyson's right leg, so he has probably also some problems with his joints. So all of these things play a role in you being able to fight in boxing. And the Athletics Commission really needs to make those certifications more strict, or have at least some maximum age difference between the fighters once one of the fighters enters a certain age, because when you have some 20 something year old fighter fighting a 50-year-old, 58-year-old guy, it was basically a one-way street from the very first punch. And yeah, the sport lost, but the only two guys that really won were Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, who each got a few tens of millions. I think Tyson won something, was awarded something like 20 million, and Jake Paul got 40 million. So yeah, that's basically the only upside for those two guys. And yeah, it really made no sense. And if those admissions or approvals start coming or stay the same, then more and more fighters might do the same thing, and then at one point somebody will really get hurt. And yeah, everyone will say, okay, the fighter knew the risks, but it's the job of the athletics commission, it's the job of the doctors and medical staff to say, no, you are not fit to fight someone who is 20, 25, 30 years younger than you are. And they should have put a stop to it right at the beginning, so we wouldn't even have this main event of the boxing fight, which is a shame because the fights before it were quite good. I really enjoyed them. So yeah, I really hope that we let uh, these kinds of events just go unnoticed. I won't be tuning into those fights anymore if they happen. I really hope they won't, because as I said, it just makes no sense to for the fighters, and it gives absolutely nothing to the sport, especially boxing, which is regarded as one of the more higher sports. So yeah, it is just my personal take. I know a lot of people enjoyed the fight. I really didn't. The only thing that I really could give a thumbs up is to Jake Paul slowing down after the fourth round. I think I really dislike the person. I have nothing in common pretty much with him, and I really don't like anything that he stands for. But yeah, I think that he also saw that, yeah, Mike Tyson isn't going to fight back. He had something like 60, 70 punches in total throughout the 8 rounds. So he eased off and probably prevented Mike Tyson from having any serious damage at the end of the fight. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I can think of that was something that was good. And I, as I said, really hope that these kinds of fights won't happen anymore. So one note for myself, and hopefully you as well, is don't believe the media hype. When you see some excerpts of someone training, or when you check out their Strava profiles or somewhere else on their Instagrams, where they show themselves how they're working out and always pushing themselves to the limit, this is just for social media, and it doesn't have to reflect real life, especially once you get to a certain age. You really cannot escape biology and physiology that degrades over time. You can slow it down, but unfortunately you cannot reverse it, and you can certainly not stop it from happening. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are Mike Tyson or Eliud Kipchoge or someone else at a certain age, your performance is just going to diminish, and you should be okay with it. You should start doing some other things, promote the sport in a different way, but actively competing is something that you shouldn't be doing. So next time we are going to talk about some more exciting and more fun stuff. I just wanted to get this one out, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.